Coming at you live from my mom's basement in beautiful Pleasant Grove, Utah. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Believe network of podcasts, brought to you by FanDuel. I am Jeff Snyder. You can find me over on the Twitter machine at Snydog. And I'm here with my friend coming to you live from his mom's basement in beautiful La Puente, California. That is Clint Pasillas. You can find him everywhere on the internet at RealFRG. Stands for Fat Ryan Gosling. You wouldn't know it by looking at him, but Clint's got a little bit of a weight problem. Because that's
they do this, they fly. I have a bit of a weight problem.
You know who doesn't have a weight problem? Justin Robleski. He's an in shape, a fit young man, and it looked like it tonight. He went 8 innings. I'm going to pop his lineup on the screen.
You want to pop the ticker on too?
Yeah, I'll pop that up. What else you want me to pop up there? I don't know.
Pop the bird.
I don't even know. Justin Robleski, 8 innings, and we will talk about that in a second, the 8 part. But 90 pitches, a ton of strikes, just 2 hits, faced 1 batter over the minimum. The first hit, he immediately followed up with a double play. Just dominant outing, very low pitch count. Only had the 2 strikeouts. He was getting a lot of early contact, but he wasn't getting deep in counts. He didn't walk anybody. Did he ever even go to 3 balls? Maybe 3 balls on 1 batter?
I don't know that one. I didn't take that note down. I just know that he was absolutely shoving tonight.
Yeah, pound in the zone. And after Roki Sasaki's start, I feel like we appreciate this more coming just a day after Roki Sasaki said, "What's a strike zone?" again. You know?
Yeah, he threw 94 pitches in 4 innings. Yeah, this is a little bit more on the efficiency scale. I think somewhere Greg Maddux is shedding just a little bit of a tear because this is almost like this is the closest you're going to get in the modern era to a Maddux type of game.
Yeah, and there was a Maddux earlier in the season by Sandy Alcantara of the Marlins,
but if nobody's there to watch it, does it count?
That's true. And the funny thing is, in Alcantara's next start, he got through 8 innings. And gave up a base runner or 2 in the 9th inning and got pulled. And the reliever came in and immediately lit the game on fire, pooped the bed, whatever you want to call it. They lost that game. And I think that, not that game necessarily, but that idea is what was going through people's minds tonight a little bit when we saw in the dugout during the bottom of the 8th inning, Justin Robleski wearing his windbreaker, giving hugs in the dugout, letting us all know his night was done. And Clint, it was a topic of conversation in our Discord server. It's going to be a topic of conversation in the post-game interviews.
I thought you were going to pop it up.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
Look at that, man.
Maybe I should have
let me push buttons. If you want to join the Discord server and argue about whether or not Justin Robleski should have been pulled after 8 innings tonight, just go to patreon.com/realfrg. $5 a month gets you access, or the $5 membership here on the YouTube machines also gets you access to that Discord server where there were strong feelings, some stated with even actual bad words, about Dave Roberts and Mark Pryor's decision to pull Justin Robleski. If I were managing, I would have left Robleski in the game. 90 pitches through 8 innings.
Yeah.
Very efficient innings, the 8-9 one-hitters coming up. And so you would think a pretty good chance to have a quick 9th inning. I think I would have left him in. I think you are on the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, listen, in my opinion, there are no wrong answers here. At 90 pitches in this economy, 90 pitches for a guy who's making his 2nd start of the season, has not made a lot of starts, has not thrown a lot of pitches at the big league level in his career. To me, it just kind of made sense. It felt like a Dave move to pull him. And I believe in the guy who has, won 3 World Series as a manager of this team. I think he knows what he's doing. I think this front office knows what he's doing. I don't think that everything they do is right. I don't think that everything they do can't be argued. But I think to argue that he needed to stay in or else we're going to storm the stadium with pitchforks and torches, I think it's really dumb. I think the Dodgers won a baseball game, and Wrobleski can hold his head up effing high about throwing a career high 8 shutout innings against a reeling Mets team. It's a great game. Why potentially sully it, even though it didn't look like he was going to lose it in any way, shape, or form. But this is a great game. This is a reason to celebrate. It's not a reason to be like, oh, he should have, he wanna, whatever. We've seen Dave do this too. Like, if it's a month from now, 1,000,000,000% Justin Wrobleski is staying in the game. But you can think back to Clayton Kershaw in that first start in Minnesota. Different scenario. It was cold in Minnesota, but what was that, 2022?
And Kershaw's coming off injury.
And coming off of injury. Of course, Ross Stripling, infamous no-hitter that was not in his MLB debut.
Thanks, Chris Hatcher.
Yeah. Oh, don't get Richie started on Chris Hatcher. Again, would it be cool to see a CGSO? Hell yes. But the Dodgers won a baseball game, and that's what we want. It's not an individual sport. It's a team sport, and they did what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and when I say I would have left him in, I'm also on record as saying I'm not as smart as Dave Roberts. I'm not as smart as the people making these decisions. Definitely not privy to the same information. The information I am privy to, why I can see why they did it. Justin Wrobleski's season high in pitches before today was 78. His career high was 104 last year, and he had a 99 pitch game in 2024. This was the third highest pitch count in a game of his career, and he was 22 pitches already over his season high. I don't know what he's built up to. I don't know if he was on a pitch count or not. But that may have come into play. Now's as good a time as any to put Enigma. Enigma is very unhappy about this decision. And
which is fine. I like that too. I like people wanting to see that because you don't see, I see that angle of you don't see complete games anymore. It's a rare treat.
Yeah, and he gave us $10 to tell us that. Honestly, there's something beautiful about a pitcher going 9. It's a real shame that seems to be going the way of the dinosaur. If this pitcher couldn't go 9, what pitcher can ever go 9 in 2026? And there is an answer to that. A guy, like you said, Justin Wrobleski, a month from now that his season high in pitches is 90, well then, his next time out, if he's shoving, they'll be happy to let him go 105. But there is a build-up.
To go from 78 pitches to, let's say, maybe if he has a laborious inning, 104, that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah, and they probably wouldn't let him labor. If he had come back out for the ninth, they probably would have said, if you give up a base runner, we're pulling you. And so if he gives up that leadoff single like Tanner Scott did, they probably come out and get him. And you can make a case like, I always like it when a manager lets a guy come back out so that he can get the standing ovation from the crowd.
I get that.
And but that's also Dave Roberts setting himself up to get booed by the crowd. But I don't think he minds that.
He'd take it.
But I don't think I don't agree with Enigma's extreme stance that if Justin Wrobleski tonight can't throw a complete game, nobody can, because it's not like he's out there. Somebody in the Discord made the point that in that last at bat against Pham, his velocity was dropping down too. He gave up a base hit and then his velocity was dropping. There were signs of fatigue. And I don't necessarily think it was a concern about, oh no, we got to get him out of here so that we don't lose this game. I think it was fatigue is your body saying, I'm tired. And a lot of times if you pitch through fatigue, you end up with your body saying, hey, shoulder,
don't be hurt.
The pitch count thing is to try to avoid injury. And you can say it's soft or whatever, but they want to make sure Justin Wrobleski stays healthy. And then the last thing they're probably thinking is, you know what, let him go out on a high note. Once you take him out of the game, he's locked in. That stat line, I was able to type it right then. I didn't have to wait till the end of the game to put the stat line up. Look, he had a dominant outing.
for us, yeah, that does honestly help a lot to not have to be scrambling into the show, updating things, or like me realizing, oh crap, people are probably going to have thoughts. So go look at the voicemails and, oh yeah, there's voicemails. So I just slacked them over to you. And now we got to do that in real time. Yeah. That's the type of stuff that happens.
Yeah. Enigma says, you really don't think Doc would just make up another reason to pull Robo again in a month? No, I really don't. I don't think Dave Roberts has ever made up a reason to pull somebody. Yeah, I think he's had reasons that you disagree with.
I think if it's the same exact scenario, 1 month from today, even to start from now, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. He is going to be allowed to go 9. And I would say the only thing to have him go out and get his ovation, cool. Definitely would have been a lot cooler. But you know what else is cool? A career best game, a career high 8 innings. Maybe next one he gets to punch up a little bit, but
yeah. And now he's got it's like that
the Enigma says the league is getting soft when you're talking about innings count. And yeah, and this is why I'm somebody who loves pitcher wins, because that is indicative of a pitcher staying in a game longer, like 6-7 innings. That wasn't even intentional, it just kind of happened. But going 6 or 7, maybe even 8 innings more regularly, you're putting yourself in more of a position to earn wins. And that's why I think wins are sexy. I love innings, but they're a rarity. Anyway, sorry, I derailed you.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was going to say. You
that's how important that was.
Derail me. What were we talking about? Baseball?
Justin Robleski. Yeah.
I remember.
We're talking about me inspiring him, clearly, because he has to be a fan of the show. We know he's pretty online.
Yeah.
He has to be
sometimes
a fan.
too online.
Yeah. He slips into them DMs here and there, and he watches the show. He knows how many times for the sake of inspiration that I have said I want him in the bullpen. Revisionist history. Here we go. This is all because of me. Thank you.
So last year Clint fixed Tyler Glasnow. This year it's Justin Robleski. We did have requests in the Discord for you to make Roki your next project. That might take more than the powers of Clint.
Yeah. I'll work on Tucker next. That's going to be my goal.
Yeah. For me, it's not about soft. And people it's kind of funny. People in this argument, they always end up bringing up Nolan Ryan. That dude threw 300 pitches a game and still pitched for 74 years. And I literally named my child after Nolan Ryan. I appreciate Nolan Ryan more than most people do. But I also recognize he is the outlier of all outliers. There's a lot more. That same son is also named after Sandy Koufax, who is kind of still made it to the Hall of Fame, but had his career cut short at 30 because he threw too many innings, threw too many pitches. Fernando Valenzuela, Oral Hershiser, both Hall of Fame talents who aren't in the Hall of Fame because of overuse. Now, they also both won World Series for their team. And so maybe it's worth that trade-off for them. They're legends in LA, but there's that trade-off. They're trying to keep people healthy. I don't think it's a soft thing. I think we have more information now, still not perfect information. And obviously there's no way to keep a guy completely healthy, but there is plenty of at least anecdotal evidence of, that dude threw way more than his career high in pitches and then ended up on the IL. And, it doesn't mean, I'm not saying Robo would have gone on the IL if he had completed this game. Like I said, I would have let him go for it, but it's hard for me to be upset about them trying to keep him healthy the best they know how and let him go out on a high note.
The whole time I really just wanted to say, if you named your children after people you love or things that you love, I think I would need to name my son that I will never have, because children are the greatest waste of our natural resources. I would have to name my son Baconator McCheese. But anyway,
what about that burrito from last night?
Oh, that burrito from last night.
His name is Baconator McCheese, that burrito from last night. Pacius.
The third.
He's like Russell Martin with the 35 middle names.
Nathan Jensen Coltrane, the third and a half. I think there's a few people who have probably a similar sentiment. Jenny in the chat, I wouldn't say calling me out, but saying, no, Clint, in this case, you didn't see Robot, but Robo's talent. You got the autocorrect. No, I looked at the numbers heading into this start. Career as a starter, All of them, all of his numbers are small sample size, but career as a major league starter, a 6.99 ERA. That tells me that he has struggled as in a starting role. Now he has learned, he has grown since, but in relief, a 3.15 ERA. I'm going off of numbers. I'm going off of my site telling me that he is more dominant. He has been more dominant in his career in a relief role. That said, the Dodgers, like Dave is smarter than you, most likely. Jep, the Dodgers are probably smarter than me in the same way they're going to give Roki as many opportunities as a starter before they move him to the bullpen. If you have somebody who has started, who wants to start, who has the ability to start, you try to get to the end of that bridge and make sure that they're either incapable of doing it or he can come out and have a game like this against a really bad Mets team, by the way, but he can have a game like this. So
he's definitely
it's just one game too, Jeff.
It is just
one game.
He's definitely a different,
not going to the Hall of Fame.
You know, Robo has strikeout stuff, and we didn't see the strikeout stuff tonight, which was fine. You know, it is a different approach to pitching. My hope is that tonight showed everybody that he can be effective in this type of pitching too. Because if you have a guy who can be a strikeout guy out of the bullpen or an efficient starter, you know, there's so much value to the team there. A guy who can fill multiple roles like that, because they may not need him to be a starter all season. If they happen to end up with everybody healthy, if Roki remembers what the strike zone is, if River Ryan, you know, comes up, you know, all those things, they may not need Robo to be a starter. They may need him to be a 1-inning high leverage reliever. They may need him to be a long reliever at times. He's kind of showing he can do all the different roles. And I think that's pretty big.
He has the ability to have success in all of them. One last thing I'll say about that is it's probably part of a greater conversation we could have at another point, but this, if I'm Roki Sasaki, I'm looking over my shoulder a little bit more than normal, because this was not a guy that the team realistically had as like, we're gonna have him build up as a starter in spring training, but they probably didn't really view him as a starter because they are missing Blake Snell, they are missing Gavin Stone, and those guys were above Justin Robleski in the starting rotation pecking order. So taking advantage of a huge opportunity presented to him, and if I'm Roki, I'm a little worried.
Yeah, absolutely. Roki definitely has his work cut out for him.